morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Monday, everyone, and hopefully you're getting a great start off to the week. Hard to tell that right now because it's literally 7:30 on a Monday morning, but hopefully everyone off to a nice week ahead. Pretty quiet week weather-wise, at least in our area. Look at the forecast today, made possible by Serve Pro with 3 locations: Monroe, West Monroe, Shreveport, and Natchez to serve you. To start things off as we go into the week, we'll have more information on how to order hats later this week, and obviously more updates on everything else as we get them. But let's take a look at temperatures. That's your first update for the day. And we're back in the upper 50s across southern Arkansas. Magnolia's at 57, Camden and El Dorado both at 59. The rest of us are generally in the low end of the 60s. 60 in Ruston, 65 in Monroe, 61 in Bastrop, 63 in Natchez, and 64 in Greenville. So not a bad start to your Monday. Pretty pleasant out there. Dew points also fairly dry, most of them in the upper 50s to low 60s. And that dry environment will lead to a pretty sharp warm-up today. We're aiming for highs back in the low end of the 90s. Winds are calm, and if we are catching a breeze, it's likely out of the north and northeast, but visibilities for the most part are fine. Magnolia has dropped to 0, and Ruston's down to 7 miles. I don't know if Magnolia's visibility is legit. I think most of us were fine when I pulled this graph again about 20 minutes ago, but Magnolia's visibility down to 0 for whatever that may hold this morning. Check of the satellite radar composite, and there's not much happening in our area. We had a few high clouds yesterday. We've had a few high clouds overnight, and that'll pretty much be the trend as we go through the day. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports. I-20 Frontage Road Monroe, hunting season right around the corner. If you need a side-by-side or ATV, go talk to Mike and the guys, and they'll get you squared away. Check of the cloud cover, and it may be a tad thicker today, but still calling it mostly sunny skies, and those skies will clear out tonight. And then we kind of just repeat this whole process again tomorrow, and really through most of this week, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of significant change in the forecast. Could work some small rain chances in on Thursday, but not overly optimistic about that. Joy, good morning from Ruston. Said you're enjoying the somewhat cooler weather, and that is probably the perfect way to describe it. Somewhat cooler. Still above normal for this time of year, and I'll get to that in just a minute. Futurecast shows that as we go through the middle part of the week, not a whole lot out there. Anethia, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And the water vapor. This kind of gives us a two-pronged look at the atmosphere. So look over the Great Lakes, and you've got this little ridge of high pressure that's centered basically right over Chicago, where the Cubs will be playing the Padres tomorrow in playoff baseball. Man, I love October, even though we're still in September. Anyway, and then you can see the tropical systems off across the western Atlantic. Now, to the north of those systems, you can, and if you joined us yesterday or watched the video from yesterday, we kind of went through the whole explanation of the steering currents with these systems. I won't go into it today. You can go back and watch that video from yesterday and learn about how the steering currents and how that ridge of high pressure out over the middle of the Atlantic will weaken and kind of give way to both of these tropical systems over the next few days. But in our area, it's still a fairly weak ridge of high pressure, but a ridge nonetheless that keeps us dry and quiet. It's a persistent ridge, I guess I should say, keeps us dry and quiet over the next few days. Leah, good morning from near Oak Ridge. Awesome stuff. Glad to have you joining the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank this morning. Temperature outlook over the next 6 to 10 days. I showed this to you yesterday, too. Just kind of trying to set folks up for the week and really beyond. 6 to 10 day outlook shows high confidence of being above average. Again, I'll preface all of this with I'll gussy this up with some nice words here in just a second. 6 to 10 day outlook, precip wise, kind of an equal chance of above average, below average, or near average rainfall. So nothing to get really worked up over there. October 7th to 13th, this is the 8 to 14 day outlook. Still shows a very high confidence of being above average. And then the 8 to 14 precip outlook kind of just goes, I don't know, and just kind of leaves us hanging. So that's where we are. Now, I will say this. A lot of folks see the red in the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day, and they're like, it's never going to cool down. That shows us our confidence of being, or it shows the Weather Prediction Center's confidence of being above average for this time of year. And again, those both show very high confidence of being above average. But what is average? The statistical average this time of year is 85 degrees. So if you're at 87 for 6 straight days during that time frame, then technically that map checks out. It's just a few degrees above average, but it's above average. Now, most of us will probably be closer to 90, but at least it's not the 94s and 95s. We're kind of bringing things back down a little bit, so not bad news there. Again, we've got twins out over the western Atlantic, double barrel action, whatever you want to call it, and it is Umberto to the east, the right, and Imelda to the west, to the left, out over the Bahamas. We'll look at both storms' forecast cones individually, but both of them expected to make hard east turns. And we kind of talked about that yesterday, how this ridge of high pressure erodes. And then also, if you follow this cloud swirl at the top part of your screen, right above the banner from New York stretching, there's a trough of low pressure that is deepening a little bit across the northern Atlantic. That's also going to kind of chip away at this ridge of high pressure. So as the ridge breaks down and weakens a little bit and moves east, it doesn't go away. It just kind of moves off to the east and the southeast a little bit, and it gives way for these storms to continue their northward trek, but then also kind of get picked up by this trough. And as Umberto finds the weakness, it heads east, and it kind of pulls Imelda along with it, kind of almost in its wake, if you will. But both of them being impacted by steering currents in the atmosphere. We're not talking about ocean currents, but air currents in the atmosphere and how those change as we go through the next few days. Maximum sustained winds as of 7 o'clock this morning with the intermediate advisory from the National Hurricane Center has Umberto as a Cat 4, 145 miles per hour. If you look at the satellite and even the discussion from the National Hurricane Center at 4 a.m., they're like, it's probably starting a weakening trend. And will likely continue that as we head through the rest of the day and through the rest of the week. Likely becoming a Cat 2 by Tuesday, and then taking that eastward turn, becoming post-tropical in its life cycle. Post-tropical meaning that it's not a purely tropical system relying on the tropical characteristics, feeding off of the warm water of the ocean and things like that. Instead, it kind of gets picked up by a trough and becomes more of a mid-latitude system, the common areas of low pressure that you would see, or a hybrid of both, as it moves off to the east later this week. Here's Imelda. Maximum sustained winds at 50 miles per hour. Pressure at 993, moving north at 9. The forecast cone has continued to advertise a fairly sharp turn to the east, and as the storm climbs a little bit farther northward and it gets into the stronger winds of the mid-latitudes, that northeasterly turn is expected to be even sharper. If you remember the original forecast cones, they kind of had this system closer to the Carolina coastline and then wandering off to the east. I don't even think it's going to get even close to the east coast of the United States. Granted, there will be some impacts. Probably already seen some impacts across Florida. But in terms of direct U.S. landfall, looks unlikely from both of these systems. Now, we could be seeing this storm move right over Bermuda as a somewhat tropical system later this week. But, again, for the U.S. mainland, not a lot of problems there. Rena, good morning. And Eddie, good morning. We'll walk by your house in about 20 minutes. 91 for an afternoon high today. More sunshine and obviously staying above normal for this time of year. Rain chance is pretty close to 0 as winds stay out of the north-northeast. Lows tonight, mid to upper 60s, clear and quiet and mild. And that really will be the overall trend through most of this week. We don't have a whole lot going on across the areas. You take a look at the 7-day forecast, made possible by 3B Outdoor Equipment, the exclusive outdoor power equipment company of the Digital Weather Desk. Daytime highs near 90 degrees Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Morning lows generally holding in the mid to upper 60s. Could see a small rain chance on Thursday. Some computer models saying yes. Some are saying absolutely not. And even the ones that are saying yes are saying a little bit of rain. Just a little bit of rain. Small rain chances Sunday and into Monday. Those also look a little thinner than they initially did. So, again, we'll cross those bridges when we get there. But it looks like we round out the month of September and go into October on a very, very dry note. Aside from the rain that we saw last week, we have not seen much. A reminder, the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, is a digital weather platform serving 33 parishes and counties across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. It is made 100% free, or made possible 100% free to you, and made possible, I botched that completely, by the local businesses that you just saw there on your screen. You know what I meant. Follow us on your favorite social media platforms, like and share, and comment on all the content that you see fit, and then support those local business partners when you can, if you can. Again, more information as the week progresses on how to order the Chunky Snow and TLDR hats. We're still working on that, but as soon as I get that available, I'll let you know. As soon as I know an update about the app, I will let you know. I'm hoping to hear something either today or tomorrow, and if I don't hear something today, I will probably send an email asking for an update so I can bring it to you folks. And then, like I said, just more plans. As we go into the month of October, October 1, we'll start our fish and game forecasts. Those are made possible by First South Farm Credit. That's a lot of information on one graphic that'll come out to you fairly frequently. But it's good. It's good information. It's not just for hunters and fisher and sportsmen and things like that, and sportswomen. But it's also just, good information to have on a daily basis. So we'll have all that starting this week. More website integrations are coming. Again, walking before we can crawl here at the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, but learning new things every day and trying to bring new things to you every day as well. Have a great Monday. Your Too Long Didn't Read comes out in about an hour and 45 minutes or so. We'll take a look at the midday forecast, and then, of course, we'll join you later this evening, too. But have a great Monday. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. You can always get an updated look at the radar or your forecast by visiting digitalweatherdesk.com. Have a great day.